Okay, good morning. So we're back. Siman Reish Samach Gimel Seif Tesvav. That is where we left off before the summer break. So we're up to Reish Samach Gimel Seif Tesvav. This is going to deal with what happens if you come late to Shul on Friday night, and you're quite late. In fact, you're so late that they've already davened Kabbalah Shabbos. They've davened Mincha for sure. They've davened Kabbalah Shabbos, and they've been Kabbalah Shabbos. So they've said Mizmor Shir or Baruch Hu, and you haven't davened Mincha yet. So you've got a problem, because for you to daven Mincha in a shul where they've already Kabbalah Shabbos, that's considered wrong. And so what should you do? What's going to come out is you should go up to the Ezras Noshim, assuming there's no ladies there, and daven there. That's because you shouldn't be davening Mincha in a place where they've already Kabbalah Shabbos. Then what if you come a bit earlier, during Kabbalah Shabbos? That's okay. We'll see. But let's take a look. So Misha Shaha Tesvav. Misha Shaha Lisbalel Mincha Be'erev Shabbos Ad Shekibla Kol Shabbos. You got to shul late and you didn't daven Mincha on Erev Shabbos until the tzibur had already been Makabel Shabbos. V'hu Shaloi Kibel Shabbos Imohem. And you were not Makabel Shabbos with them. Avalim Ona v'Kibel Shabbos. Avalim Ona. Sorry, I missed the line. I'm so sorry. Misha Shul Isbal Mincha Be'erev Shabbos Ad Shekibla Kol Shabbos. So you have not yet davened. You come to shul and they've already been Makabel Shabbos. Lo Yispalel Mincha Ba'isa Beis HaKnesses. Don't daven Mincha in that shul. Eliyele Chutz La'isa Beis HaKnesses. Go outside of the shul for Yispalel Tfilah Shel Chol and daven your Mincha, your weekday Shemona Esrei then. But that is only v'hu shelo kibel Shabbos imohem. So long as you were not makabel Shabbos. For example, you didn't say Baruch Hu. You came in, they said Baruch Hu, and you say Baruch Hu, because by you doing that, you've been makabel Shabbos, and then it's too late for you to daven mincha, right? Im honor v'kibel Shabbos imohem. But if you or you makabel Shabbos with them, any yochel isbal tfilas tzchol eli isbal arvishtayim. Okay, let's take a look at the Mishnah Berurah for more detail. Nun ches shekiblu hainu. Where you come to shul late on a Friday afternoon, you have not yet daven mincha, and they have already been makabel Shabbos. For example, Ba'amiras Baruch Hu, says the Mishnah Berurah, Oy b'mizmer shir yom Shabbos, which we've discussed previously. Kol makom lefi minhago, v'chudel elbas in reish samachal of sif dalet, ayin sham. Lo yispalel, so don't daven mincha in the shul where they're already been makabel Shabbos. Hainu afilu oy tayim gadol, even if it's still daytime. You shouldn't be noihek chol by davening mincha if they've already been makabel Shabbos. If you take a look at 60, he says, what about davening in the outside in the hallway or in the corridor or something? So in 60 he says of a pros do beis hakneses das hagon rem nism karelitz shenechshev kebeis hakneses. This is considered like a shul. V'osa lispalaboy aval ezrus noshim daite she'ena nechsheves kebeis hakneses elim ken yesham anoshim shemitzarfen from the tzibur shebeis hakneses. If that's like an overflow minion in the ezrus noshim, then you've got a problem. But otherwise, you should have it in the ezrus noshim. So bottom line is, if you come to shul late on Friday afternoon, you have not yet davened, and the tzibur already makabel Shabbos, don't just walk into shul and daven mincha there, but do it not outside in the hallway, but do it somewhere quite far away. Chutz the beis hakneses in the ezrus noshim or outside or something like that.
Is this even when the Ezras Noshim is part of the same shul? Because at least outside you're in a different room.
Yeah.
And the Ezras Noshim is
I'm picturing the shul here, which is totally separate. So, I don't know, but I don't know. It's hard to know exactly what he's describing, but I would imagine it's considered separate enough for you to daven. Because the point is, it says lo yasel chol eslom. Eslom means you're mamish with them.
It's separate, but you're not with staff to the minion.
Yeah, maybe.
Not in the extension.
What? Yeah.
No, that comes
Here is okay.
but other shul.
Yesh loden. I don't know.
When it's open, it's part of the shul.
It could be, yeah.
You had the child
But that's he says only if there are people there who are mitzvah. Right. Okay, so either way you got it not at slum, but you got it somewhere a little bit different. Says Mishnah Berurah Sif Cotton Samach Aval im honor, but if you answered Baruch Hu, for example, then you've blown it because you've written Kabbalah Shabbos and you can't have mincha. Im honor Hainush honor Baruch Hu, you answered Baruch Hu Shvaso Ba'atzma Kodesh Banias Baruch Hu, and you have therefore been Makabel Shabbos. You can't backtrack now and dav mincha and therefore what should you do? You dav marav shnayim. You dav marav twice. Hainu says Mishnah Berurah Samachalef mitchila l'shem Shabbos. The first one is always the one for the correct time, the Friday night davening. V'akach shni l'tashlumi mincha. You daven a second Shabbos Shemona Esrei to remedy to make up the mincha Shemona Esrei you missed. V'im hafach, and if you messed up and you did it the other way around, The first one you had kavana for mincha, and the second one you had kavana for Shabbos. However, vadayin yomu was my mincha. Kain kozar prima godim b'siman zeh. It would actually be okay. Va'ayin el prima godim b'mispshezov siman kuf ches sif cotton ches. Okay, that's sif tesvav. Now sif tes zayin. In bola beis hakneses. Somach lekabbalas hatzibur Shabbos. Now you got to shul late, but a bit earlier than in the last sif. Maschel ispalal mincha, you can still daven mincha. If they're still davening Kabbalah Shabbos, you can daven mincha. V'afal pi shebe'oidem ispalal yikablu hatzibur Shabbos ein bekach klum. Even though halfway through your Shemona Esrei they're going to be Kabbalah Shabbos, that's okay. However, hischel beheta, right? That's Magnus Magnuson. Since I started beheta, I'm allowed to, right? So what does that mean? So if you come to shul and they've already been Kabbalah Shabbos, they've said Mizmor Shel Shabbos or Baruch Hu, so then you cannot daven in the shul, daven chutz the Beis HaKnesses, whatever that means, outside as noshim, whatever. If you come to shul and they're halfway through the mizmerim before, yeah, and or even and you feel that you can start, even though you won't finish before they're Mekabel Shabbos, that's enough. That's okay. The problem is davening mincha in a place where they've already been Mekabel Shabbos. That's the problem. Seder. So as the Mishnah Berurah Sifkat and Samach Beis, Maschel Ispal, you're allowed to daven mincha if they have not yet been Mekabel Shabbos, even if they're halfway through the Mizmerim of Kabbalah Shabbos. Mincha. You can daven mincha. V'lo yamtin ad sheyana Baruch Hu. Don't wait until they've already said Baruch Hu. Because if you answer Baruch Hu, shuv lo yuchal ispalach kach mincha, like we just said. Samach Gimel, he'ol v'hischel beheta. But if you started beheta, you're okay. V'afal pi shehayu yodeh shelo yuchal ligmar afilu chatzi atfilah koden Baruch Hu. Even though you know that they're halfway through l'chadoidi, they're going to get to Baruch Hu in about 2 minutes' time, in 3 minutes' time. Still, you're okay. Mikol makom mikri hischel beheta. Lefisha isazel shelo yispal tefillah shel chol etzlan nispalim shel Shabbos eina ele chumra ba'alma. For you not to daven mincha where they're in a place where they've already davened b'mekabel Shabbos, it's a chumra, and therefore if you've started beheta, it's okay. Or mikol makom tov yotze bofen zeh sheyetz lechutz Beis HaKnesses v'yispal sham. If you can, better to still, even in that situation, to daven outside. So bottom line is as follows: if you come late to shul on Friday afternoon, then if you come so late, they're already Mekabel Shabbos, you should not really daven mincha in the shul. Go chutz the Beis HaKnesses. If you come to shul, they haven't yet been Mekabel Shabbos, but they will do shortly, then you're allowed to start, even if you know that your mincha Shemona Esrei is going to spill beyond the time they've been Mekabel Shabbos. But even then, says the Mishnah Berurah, it's better to still go chutz the Beis HaKnesses.
Means outside the whole building.
Well, that's the issue. So, according to footnote 60, he says going to the Ezras Noshim is okay, but not the prosdor. So, I would imagine going upstairs here, certainly when it's shut, it would be okay. That or exactly how you define chutz Beis HaKnesses, I'm not sure.
To go outside the door, it's not chutz Beis HaKnesses.
Right. So, I would imagine you go, sort of maybe the corridor outside where your mamish outside. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yud Zayin. Yesh Omrim. Shemi shekibel olav Shabbos koydem shechashecha mutzalom Yisrael chaver lasis lo melacha. This is a very interesting halacha. Now this happened to us some months ago. Especially in the summer in England, where it gets dark very late. So there's early Shabbos. So we want to daven early. Let's say at 6:00, and let's say the regular Shabbos, the main minyan was at 7:00. So I can come home, and you probably all seen this. You come home and you see your neighbor walking to shul, and then you come home and you think to yourself, "Hey, I forgot to turn the fridge light off. Can I tell my neighbor, who is 100% frum and Jewish, can I?"
Chabad neighbor.
Yeah, the Chabad they daven very late.
I had it also a few weeks ago.
Right, exactly.
So
Therefore, so that's the point. Can you tell your Jewish neighbor to do melacha for you when you've been Mekabel Shabbos, but he has not been Mekabel Shabbos? So the answer is, says the Mechaber, you can. Yesh Omrim Yud Zayin Shemi shekibel olav Shabbos kodem shechashecha mutzalem Yisrael chaver lazes melacha. Says the Ramah, umutzaleh hanos me'osem melacha b'Shabbos, and therefore you can switch my fridge light off, you can put my chulent on, or put the oven on, or whatever it is. The Kolsh came Motzei Shabbos, and so too the other side of the coin on Motzei Shabbos. Misha ma'achel lehispal b'Motzei Shabbos. For him, it's still Shabbos, and Ma'ariv is not yet they've not yet davened. Oishe mamshich sudos b'laylo. Shalosh Shudas is prolonging. Mutzalom lehachaver Yisrael shekva hispal v'hivdil. You're allowed to tell a Yisrael who's already davened and is made Havdalah, lasses lo melochtoi, to do melacha for you, lahadlik leneo, levashaloi, or mutzalei honas v'leochel, and you're allowed to get benefits or to eat, min melachte kein nirli. So so too on a Motzei Shabbos, if you are still, it's Shabbos still for you, you are allowed to tell your fellow Jew who has already davened and made Havdalah to do melacha for you. Okay, says the Mishnah Berurah, let's just finish off the simon. Mutter loymar. To kiven shlechaver mutter, since this is talking about Erev Shabbos, since he has not yet been Mekabel Shabbos, he's on the way to Shul, and it's not Shabbos for him. Ein issa amira shaykh bazeh. There's no amira la'akum over here. There's no amira liyisrael. There's no amira problem at all because it's not Shabbos for him. This we're talking about a situation where there's plenty of time to ben hashmoshes. To imhu samach ben hashmoshes, because if it's very close to shkia to ben hashmoshes, bevadai kiblu roiv anshei Shabbos, then the majority of the town have been Mekabel Shabbos v'hamiut nigra acharei bar karchei, and lone individuals are bound by that communal kabbalah. And therefore this halacha would not be appropriate. And when it gets close to Shkia, don't hang around. Don't wait to say Mizmeh Shel Yom Shabbos. So Shama Morim Hanoagim Lema B'Shul Kabbalah Shabbos B'Shul Eza Anoshim Ha'oiskim B'Beisom B'Inyonehem U'Mashim Loveh L'Beis HaKnesses. Don't wait for latecomers. You get on with it because otherwise there'll be problems. Samachei V'Kol Shkein B'Motzei Shabbos Pirush V'Al Be'erev Shabbos Kvar Kibel Shabbos V'Ef Shelachzor V'Afilu Hochishari. The Kol Shkein Motzei Shabbos, the Kol Shav V'Shah Imrois L'Nispal Mavdil. This fellow, if any moment, if he just wants to daven Marav and make Havdalah, he can. The Kol Shkein Mutzalei. Good. His spal of a hivdil. So you are allowed on Motzei Shabbos to tell a person who has already davened and made Havdalah to do melacha when it's still Shabbos for you. Hainu shehivdil b'tfilah. Now it doesn't mean necessarily that he's made Havdalah with a kais, even if he's just davened Mariv in Shul or privately, and he's made Havdalah b'tfilah. He said Atzachin Antonu. To bezem mutalas is melacha, because thereby you are allowed to do melacha. You can drive him from Shul even though you haven't yet made Havdalah, if al hakais, or chudlekam siman reish samach tes. Av shelo hivdil al hakais. Or mutalei hanas, you're allowed to get hana from it. The Lavush argues with this. Elim kein berich v'siach daitze b'mah the Achronim agree with the right ruling of the Shulchan Aruch. That means you can tell your fellow Jew who has made Havdalah and Dav Mariv to do melacha for you if it's still Shabbos for you. If you say Hamavdil ben Kodesh L'chol in the middle of your Shalosh Shudos, when it's now dark outside, it was a long, prolonged Shalosh Shudos, then L'kula al Mashari, then for sure that's okay. Kamoshe Kosev B'Soif Siman Reish Samach Tes, Ta'afil Hu B'Alsam Muta Az B'Melacha, Ein Ach Sorchinim Yochel Akach Lo Meritzei B'Berch Samozon. Okay, that's a separate shaila, because once you said Baruch Hamavdil ben Kodesh L'chol, you've made out Shabbos, and therefore to say Ritzei in Shalosh Shudos benching is a shaila. Kim Shaso Mitchila L'chol. Kosva Primogodim Motzei Shabbos Ein HaYochid Nigra Acharoiv Afa Pishe B'Kulam Le'Yispalu V'Levdilu Yochlu Lav D'V'Lasses Melach Meshigi Azman. That's very interesting. You're not Nigra Acharoiv. So an individual, for example, can say Hamavdin Kodesh L'chol, and even though everyone else is still Shabbos, you can do. I remember back in my yeshiva days, I didn't learn in Golker, but I had friends who were there, and I occasionally went to visit them. And Reb Volba would give the shmooze between sort of late Shabbos afternoon, and he would start late, like a half an hour or an hour, whatever it was before Motzei Shabbos, and he would speak for a long time. And he would go, half an hour after Shabbos. And I remember people would look at the clock. They'd say Baruch Hamavdin Kodesh L'chol, and they'd take out pens and papers and they'd start writing. It was a very strange thing. It was a very interesting thing. And then that's exactly this halacha. You are allowed to say Baruch Hamavdin Kodesh L'chol. You're not nigra after the tzibur, and you're entitled to do that. So just to summarize what we've said today, when it comes to coming to late on Shul on Shabbos, on Erev Shabbos, if you've come so late, they've already been Mekabel Shabbos, the Hainu that's after Mizmeh Shel Yom Shabbos, whatever it is, then don't daven mincha inside with them, daven outside. If you come with they haven't yet been Mekabel Shabbos, but they will do soon, then you're okay. But even then, it's better to still daven outside. It's even better not to come late to Shul. And on Motzei Shabbos, you are allowed to tell another Jewish person who has not yet been Mekabel Shabbos to do melacha for you. It's a useful halacha to know. Say that.